Alright guys, welcome to the channel. This is Eric, the OBX Picker. I do thank you guys for coming in and watching. If you're new to the channel, I am a part-time reseller. I pick up things at thrift stores, not now. Yard sales, not now. I actually have been able to pick up a couple things at a local thrift that's open, kind of sporadic. I know the people there, so they generally call me about certain things. So I do thank those guys, and I'll show you a couple things I got from there today. But right now, I'm in the midst of doing a daily vlog about listing my death pile. If you've been a reseller probably longer than about 2 weekends, you've got some stuff that ain't listed. The death pile, as we jokingly call it, is things that we have not listed that are just sitting around. It is one of those things for us, listing the death pile. Sometimes it looks like it's overwhelming. If you go back on Froggy Flips, shout out to Anthony, he put out this thing about show us your death pile, soy pod, hashtag soy pod. If you go on Instagram, you'll find all that list of videos. If you go on Froggy Flips channel and look at the playlist soy pod, you can go in there. You can also see my video in there. Me showing all the mess that I had. So man, I've listed now a good amount of that. I'll show you exactly how much, and we've had pretty decent sales out of it. It's not the, top dollar stuff. There is some decent sales. In fact, I'm gonna show you a decent one today, but there is a lot of stuff there that does have value, and like I would say, you can't sell it if you ain't got it listed. And no one's gonna knock on the door and say, hey, can I look in your death pile and get some stuff? So it is advisable to list it, but like most of us, the fun part is the treasure hunt. The fun part is let's go find some more, or what can we find? So trying to do a little bit better out of that, coming out of this whole shutdown, hopefully in a few weeks. Try to be a little bit better about sourcing items and go ahead and get in listed. Even a lot of the stuff I found in there is pretty decent stuff, but it's just time consuming, or things that I'm not as interested in as other things. So I'll show you some items today, what sold. Like I've told you in the past few videos, I do have some pantry items that I'm just not going to show you just because they're replenishable items for me. So, and most anybody can get them if you do a little bit of work. So first item we're going to show you is this Kate Summerall. Here we go, Kate Summerall. And I got this item for free. This is actually a very expensive item. I listed this. This was in my death pile. I'd kind of forgotten about it, to be honest. This thing, Kate Somerville Retinol Vitamin C Moisturizer, Firm and Brighten. When I looked up sold comps on this, it was actually $55, and I was kind of like, what in the world? I don't think it was that much when I first got it. We ended up, it is a new open box. It does look like somebody had opened the jar. So I listed that, disclosed it, sold for $28 plus shipping, and it sold instantly, pretty much within an hour listing it. It sold, which made me sad, man, I should have listed it for more, but we'll see when someone gets it. Next item I have is, this is retail arbitrage I've got from Kmart. I picked this thing up for $1, and I sold it for $13.99 plus shipping. This does have to ship ground because it's got some chemical in it. And it's liquid, so you're probably a little bit better off doing that. It's not aerosol, but I just generally send that ground myself. So that, like I said, quick flip. It was in my death pile as well. Not more recent death pile, really, but we'll look at it. The next item I got going out is retail arbitrage that I picked up from Kmart. These are those gloves in a bottle, and this is actually my last pair that I have of these. I have $1.50 into these total, and they sold for $16.49 plus shipping, or sorry, $16.49 free ship. These things, I've been shipping them out, and they go out for about $4 tops if it's going across the country, about $4.50. So gotta clean that one up a little bit. I don't know what that is on there. So got those 4 items. Then I got one of these. This will be a little throwback for you. You know, it's crazy. Last week I sold a Beatles DVD or VHS set, and I had never sold a VHS prior. And man, all of a sudden now, I don't know what's going on, but I sold this Barney VHS. And this is, man, if you remember this, I love you, you love me. That song that used to drive you nuts when your kids were little, if you're my age. We actually I got a little funny story about Barney. I took our kids to, I believe it was Universal Studios, back when Barney was at the height of his fame, and my kids loved Barney and they wanted to go see Barney. And we went into that thing, and it was, you sit on the ground, like you kind of sit, like the stage for me is about like hitting me right in the neck, sitting down. So you're sitting there, and out comes out of the curtain back there all these dinosaurs, and man, them things look like they're like 20 feet tall because you're sitting up looking at them from the stage. And one of my girls started crying immediately when that big Barney purple thing came rolling out there, and it kind of, you know, we had to get up and take her out, which honestly wasn't too bad for me. But yeah, if you remember the Barney days, maybe you're one of them kids that loved Barney's when you were young. But yeah, this is Barney Waiting for Santa. We listed this last night, and it sold last night. $6.60 free ship. Not a huge item, but hey, I actually got this for free. We have a couple of local thrifts that they'll put stuff out on the sidewalk for sale. The case is a little beat up. I think I've got another VHS case I'm gonna throw it in, but these were sitting outside. I got that one, and also a Teletubbies, another one of those annoying little kids song things that those little rascals don't even talk or anything, they just make noises. But I remember my kids watching that too when they were little. So those are the sales I got going out. If you're keeping up with the Death to Death Pile challenge, we actually did put in some work yesterday. My daughter helped me a little bit get some listings up. We're at day 23. We've listed 213 items out of my death pile, and we've sold 23. So one a day, and still staying over that 10% mark. So guys, I encourage you, if you have a death pile, man, get to listing that thing. It's not like we're getting sourcing in as much as what we used to. I don't know that I'll ever be without one. I was hoping to kind of get this thing knocked out, but I'll settle for just getting it knocked way down and then organized to where it's not a literal pile, which it has been at times. So let me show you real quick, though, some items I picked up from my little local thrifts there that are open. And I'll just tell you, we live in a very isolated area, so before you get like aggro, oh my gosh, he went outdoors. For me, I really don't see much difference between going to the grocery store and going to the thrift store. My local thrifts, one of them is not taking clothing at all. They are only taking hard goods and wiping them all down. The other one is taking both, but they are actually mandated. Both of them have been mandated by the county. They've filed the proper permits. They're taking the proper safety precautions. And so I have had a chance to go in and thrift. They're not getting a ton of donations right now, so it's kind of hit or miss. But I got this cool hat. This thing actually lights up. So I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, picked this thing up for a couple bucks. And it sells for about 20. This is, if you're looking at Disney stuff, make sure it's got the Disney tag. This actually has the Disney park tag on it. So this will be a nice little thing. Usually Disney sells pretty quick. So I got to get this thing listed up. Then I also got, this is a sweet score here. This is a DVD combo, which, man, if you've been around the reselling community at all, you've heard people talk about combos. The sweet thing with this one, it's got the remote in the manual. This remote sells for like 20 bucks by itself. So I was excited to get that. They actually, my boys at one of the thrift stores were holding it for me. So they know those guys pretty well. And the next item I got going out is this. Man, I got a whole box of China, and this is Carefree by Syracuse Mayflower. And I will give a shout out to a couple people. First of all, to Kat, the nurse flipper, because I actually called her from the thrift store. Not called her, but reached out to her on IG. I didn't call her, but I reached out to her on IG and Instagram and sent her a message that was like, hey, Kat, I'm looking at a whole box of China. Like, here's what it is. Just picked it up for fairly cheap. How should I list it? You know, you think it's worth, what do you think it's worth? I'd looked up a couple of comps and seen a couple things, but I just don't deal with China much. In fact, that's my first China that I've bought. It will be my first China that I've listed. I don't deal with the breakables very much, but we had, before I move on from Kat though, I will tell you, she is close on her watch hours. So man, if you're not subscribed to Kat, the nurse flipper, I encourage you to do that. And if you are subscribed, get on there and watch some videos. Let's push her on up to that monetization. 4,000 watch hours is a huge amount. So she's fairly close. So it'd be awesome if we could get her pushed on over the edge. So I encourage you to do that. The other thing I wanted to give a shout out to Tim over the years. We had Tim as our special guest on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Myself and Jacob at Midwest Bargains and Sam at the Dapper Tiger, we started doing this weekly show Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we had on this week as our guest Tim from over the years. Tim talked to me a little bit about the fragile stuff, the breakables, and packing that. Gave me some resources. If you're not subscribed to him, check it out. Ma Dukes, who's his mom, did a video about packing glassware in China. And man, and he gave me some great advice about not being scared of it and just going for it. So in the times we're in, I'm trying to expand my own repertoire. That's a fancy word for me, repertoire, but trying to expand it to where I know more items that I can pick up, because I'm sure a lot of you are probably in limited markets and you're only able to pick up a few things. Like there's only so many video games out there, right? There's only so many home runs that are just sitting out there waiting for you to roll up on them. So I figure I'm a guy who sells a little bit of everything. So the more I know, the more opportunity there is for me. So encourage you to educate yourself. And that's mainly the reason a lot of us do the YouTube thing, is to educate others. And obviously the sense of community. We do have a great reselling community. I would say probably like 95% of the people out there will do anything they can to help you out. I mean, it's like everybody else. Some people are just people, and you know, they're not as in it for others as they are for themselves. But you know, for me, I have learned a ton on YouTube, so I want to give back and try to teach what I can. I don't know a whole lot. I've only been doing this since September, but I have been grinding and my sales are good. In fact, I actually hit a new milestone for me this week. Pushed up over the 18,000 mark on my 90-day total. So it's growing. We're getting there. Not where I want to be yet, but just keep setting little goals for yourself, and you can attain them if you put in the work. If you sit at home and say, man, I wish I could be like that, or I wish I could get that far, it's just work, guys. It's just putting in the effort. Same with all of it. Just same with everything we do, right? The more you put in, the more you get out of it. That's just how it is. So I do thank you guys for watching. For those of you that are resellers, and I hope you find some good finds this week and make some good flips. And I'm trying to strive to do the same myself. If you're here hanging out with us, I do appreciate you watching. And hopefully you did pick up a little nugget or two that'll help you in the reselling game, and hopefully maybe inspire you to look for something a little different than what you normally do. All right, thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.